Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's week 7, and we're going to take a look at what's happening this week. Before we take a look at what's happening this week, though, we're going to talk a little bit about last week's assignment. The assignment from last week was the MLA skill drill, and fewer than 50% of the class got a passing grade on it, which is, to say the least, a little disappointing. I know that citing sources in MLA in any format is not easy. But that's why we do it because, or that's why we practice it, because it isn't easy. And several folks, if you tried and got it wrong, it happens. What I really want to talk about is that some people didn't bother to try. And that is a surefire recipe for disaster. It is all of the assignments build on each other. And so the whole goal is to learn and do better on the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. But if you don't do something, you miss out on that chance entirely to learn what you were supposed to be learning. So that's an issue that I'm not sure how to address, other than to say, if we're doing something that has a 5 or 10 point question and you don't answer it at all, that's a problem. And it wasn't like I got a flood of questions. Nobody posted any questions on the Q&A discussion board. I got maybe 1 or 2 questions about that assignment over the course of the week, but I can't help if you don't ask the questions, and if you don't attempt the assignment, then I can't help by giving you feedback. I mean, to say I was disappointed this week was a bit of an understatement. Let's just put it that way. So I'm going to actually go through that assignment with you before we take a look at week 7. And I'm going to give you a handout that I want you to think about, fill out to the best of your ability. And we'll go from there. So first, I'm going to open the course. And I've got the student view on. So I'm going to go in and do the MLA skill drill. If you have not done it, you are not going to get points for it now, because I'm going to be essentially showing the answers. So you can still complete it for partial credit, but just be aware that you didn't do it within the 8 days. So I don't want to put this off any longer, because this is information that people need to know. So most people did okay on the multiple choice questions, the 1-point questions. You do want to make sure that you read these carefully and that you answer them. It's not a quiz in the sense of this is a test. So there was absolutely nothing from stopping you from looking things up. So if you were missing these questions, I don't know what to tell you. But MLA stands for Modern Language Association. MLA papers do not have a cover or title page. If we are writing a paper and it has a bibliography and it's an MLA paper, that will be called a works cited page. When available, you will include a page number in the in-text citation for MLA. MLA loves page numbers. And then number 5, I know could have been tricky, but you do want to make sure that you review and use title rules for MLA. They are going to be different when we get to APA. So it's mostly just a matter of knowing that you need to know. So things that are full items, like a movie or a book or an album or a website, those titles get italics in MLA. And things that are part of something larger, like a song or an article or a short story or a TV show episode title, those things get quotation marks around them. So the one that was correct with that both titles were denoted appropriately is this one. The first one, Rocky, is correct. That's a movie. It's in italics, but The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is both a movie and a novel. And either way, that gets italics. Maya Angelou, the poem title, needs quotation marks and not italics. Her book, I Know Where the Caged Bird Sings, that one is correct. And then Romeo and Juliet is a major play. That gets italics. So that was correct on that one. Now, the goal of question 6 was to successfully use a quotation with an in-text citation by choosing something to include out of this paragraph. You have the correct citation for it. So we have an author, and we need to know that because what goes in the in-text citation always comes first in the parenthetical citations, or the what comes first in the works cited entry is what goes in the in-text. So some of you use the title, golden retriever dog breed information. You can't use that. It's not first in the works cited entry. American Kennel Club is not the author, and it doesn't even appear until the third item in the citation. Some of you included the year. We don't use years in MLA. We do use years in APA, but we're not there yet. And we did also have the additional piece of information that this particular paragraph is paragraph 1. So when we cite from this article, from this excerpt of an article, the in-text citation is going to say Greenberg, PAR period 1. That is the 100% correct in-text citation. So you would have a quote. I'm just going to write out one little sentence here and include a quotation. I'm not going to do a whole paragraph, but so when you are including a quote, it's always nice to have a signal phrase. And because I'm going to use her name in the citation, I'm going to use the website here. So according to American Kennel Club, notice it is in italics. And then I'm going to include the quotation. Oh, I don't need, it's not in there. They have an endearing love of life when not at work. Okay, so quotation mark, and then we have this. Now, I don't actually need this up here. I need it in the actual paragraph. So I'm just going to put it there and delete this. I just wanted you to see what it looked like separately. Notice that I do not have a period here. I only have a period after the in-text citation. So that is what it would look like. With this one, you were supposed to actually use the the Valencia library to find a source using the databases, which I have demonstrated in the videos, and I've given you information on how to do that throughout previous weeks. So in order to do that, we needed to use a library database and find a peer-reviewed article on one of the named artists. So most people, if you attempted this, got it right. We're gonna go to, let me go to a blank page and go to the Valencia College Library. Easiest way to get there. Gonna log in and search. So the easiest way to go to a database, for one more time, is to actually choose a database. And if you know that's what you're looking for, if you know you're looking for articles, then I would go to databases A to Z, and I would pick one of the three that I have suggested for you. The two first ones, Academic OneFile, Academic Search Complete, and Opposing Viewpoints. Now, we're researching an artist, which is not really a an argumentative topic. So I'm going to use one of the others, but I'm going to pick Andy Warhol. Why not? All right. So I'm going to go to Academic Search Complete. It's my favorite. And in the search bar, I'm going to put in Andy Warhol, and I'm going to click on full text and peer reviewed, because remember, this was supposed to be a peer reviewed article. So I'm going to click search, and I can pick anything I want. It doesn't matter. I'm going to pick this one just because it sounds fun. All right. So when you open the article, when you click on the title, you're getting what's called the library record. In order to read the article, you need to click on either HTML full text or PDF full text, because that's going to take you to the article itself. We, however, only needed the citation. So I'm going to come over here on the right-hand side and click the cite button, scroll down to MLA, and copy this and paste this into the box. Now, as it said here, you don't have to worry about the indent or any of that, space, double spacing, all that stuff, but you do have to have italics, you have to have quotation marks, you have to have whatever else. Notice that all I did was copy and paste, and it kept the italics. I didn't have to do anything special. So there really wasn't any reason not to have that. The other thing that it asked you for, and I even gave you a sample here, is what would it look like when you do create an in-text citation for this particular article? Well, the author's name is Lieberman, and we might have paragraph numbers, but this is an article that's on page 298 to 304 of the original source, and there was an actual PDF file which will allow us to get exactly what page number we're finding the information from. So I'm going to pick any page number in that range. I'm going to use 299 just to be different. So a correct answer would look like that: the citation and the in-text citation. Now, the last one is more complicated. I can't create this in a couple of minutes, but let me talk about what you would need to do. So for this question, you must upload a properly MLA formatted document in Word or PDF format. You'll be creating an MLA bibliography with 5 entries. The heading should read bibliography. So instead of works cited, the title, you would call it bibliography. If you called it works cited, nothing bad would have happened to you. And you don't need anything on the page other than the bibliography. Do include the correct information in the header on the page for an MLA paper. So you would have your name and page number in the top and the first 4 lines, the normal, your name, my name, the class, and the date. That was a little unclear. I didn't take off much for that because that I could see where you might have gotten confused. But if it was formatted every other way, it was fine. Really what I wanted was all that to be a normal MLA document. They should be in proper order, which means alphabetical order, and demonstrate proper spacing, indent, and capitalization markings for all titles. So you had to find 5 sources and create citations for them. 2 of those were from the library. And so again, just like we did with the the article we just looked at, all we had to do was use the citation that was there. However, you had to use the correct citation. So I will go back to the library and show, we have a book on jazz and fashion by Alfonso McClendon. So let's go back to the library search. And we want to go all the way. Well, no, I didn't want to do that. I want to go to the library. There it is. Okay. So I would search the library for books, and it would be jazz and fashion is probably the fastest way to find this. I could use the author as well, but it's the first one that comes up. Notice that it is a book. It is, oh no, here's the one. Just Fashion and Jazz. It is available online. So we would click on that link and we would need to open the book. And once we do that, once we do that, we have a cite book button. So this is what the citation for that book should look like. Okay. And MLA was the default. So we didn't have to do anything weird there. The other one was an article, same thing. You could do the general search to find it. You could put in all the information and then just, again, pull the actual citation. So that's what you should have done on those three. And that's 20 points. Now, granted, the whole course is worth 1,000 points. 20 points here or there is not going to hurt you. It's not going to ruin your day. But why would you not do the questions? And as it says here, it even says, hey, why are you not doing this question? So please answer the questions. That's my PSA for the day. Okay. All right. So I need to go back to the class. And there we go. So we have the modules. So let's talk about what's happening in week 7. This week, you are moving from your proposal that you did last week, and you are actually finding sources to use in your paper and creating an annotated bibliography. You also do have a midterm to take. So make sure that you go through each of the pieces like we always do. The weekly overview tells you what you're doing. The readings and resources give you the tools that you need. But again, if you're not reading these and watching the videos, it's going to be a lot harder to do the actual graded assignments. So please take the time to click on everything, like do the reading. I promise you, this website, especially the OWL at Purdue, is going to talk you through and show you samples of how to do an annotated bibliography. Essentially, it is the source, and then you write about the source. What you write about is a summary and an analysis of its credibility and usefulness. So one paragraph, usually 6 or so sentences, something along those lines for each of the sources that you're planning on using in your paper. All right. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. So on the next page, of course, is where you will turn them in. I am not going to click on the midterm. You need to take that and do it. Take your time, please, please, please. You're at home doing these, so there's no reason you can't stop and look things up if you really need to. They're designed that way. It's not meant to be a test that, I'm trying to catch you making bad answers. But let's talk a little bit about the annotated bibliography. So in this assignment, you will create an annotated bibliography exploring and analyzing the sources you recently located for your informative paper. For your convenience, you can review the paper assignment and the proposal assignment. So the proposal is the one you turned in last week, but this is a link to the actual full paper assignment. So just to review kind of what the paper itself is going to do. Source selection. You need 5 credible and diverse sources that provide insights into different facets of your paper topic. Your resources can include scholarly articles, reports from reputable organizations, books, or news articles. Aim to select sources that cover a range of perspectives. You'll have a citation for each of the 5 sources. So again, if you're using library sources, those are already provided for you. If you do have a website or two, you'll need to cite those on your own and build the citation from start to finish. The annotation for each source, write a concise annotation about 150 to 200 words that summarizes the source's main points and evaluates its relevance and credibility. Address the following points in your annotation. What are the key arguments or findings? The author's qualifications and credibility of the source. How is this source going to contribute to your understanding of the topic? And then, of course, if there are any biases, limitations, potential further exploration needed, you can put that in there as well. So diversity just means you want to have sources from different viewpoints. And of course, you can have both library and a few websites. So that is also giving you some diversity. Video, we don't always think about video, but video is a great thing as well. So the sample annotated bibliography entry, these are gonna look similar. Now, it will, in the actual annotated bibliography, you won't have the word source and you won't have the word annotation. That link to the Purdue OWL shows you and gives you actually a template that you can use. But this will give you an example of what an annotation will look like. And then, of course, you'll create it in Word, turn it in. Your rubric is here. So make sure that you check the rubric both before you start it and also before you turn it in. That's always helpful because it will help you kind of target areas that you want to make sure you do right. Okay. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. As I said, I'm going to give you a handout that I'm giving to my class that meets in person on Monday. And we're going to talk about it in class a little bit. Let me go over a couple of things with you. Excuse me. Which means I need to stop the one share and share that document. I will put this document in the announcement. I'm not going to fill it all in, but you can go through it yourself. It's in a weird order on here, so I'm actually going to start on page 2. So this is just a little kind of graphic organizer that I use for my seated students. We're going to talk about the different vocabulary. These are all things that you should already know, but if you have any questions or run into trouble finding definitions for them, let me know. I'm happy to help. I would highly encourage, if you do run into any questions with any of this handout, post it on the Q&A discussion board so that I can answer it for the whole class at once. That would be great. Nobody's been using it, and it's, it's there for a reason. MLA title rules, you need to look those up and jot those down for yourself. When do you use quotation marks? When do you use italics? And rules about capitalization, because they're different between MLA and APA, which we will learn about later. I did some web searching and I created the web citations using Scribr. I think I used Scribr. Pretty sure it wasn't EasyBib. Either way, most of the citation generators will do some weird things with the citations, and mostly it comes from trying to create authors where there really are none. So you'll notice there are 3 sources here. Coursera is a company. L. Parsons is a username, so honestly, you could keep that, but it just seems weird to me to have somebody's just like screen name. And we definitely do not want to use Wikipedia contributors as authors. So the better versions of those are below, and they have now been moved into actual alphabetical order. So notice that when we don't have a person or persons as an author, we skip it entirely. We don't put anonymous, we don't put whatever. We skip it entirely and we start with the quotation mark title. So those you can take a look at. Now, on the second page, I've got some sources, and essentially just so that you can go through them and kind of review, like, what is each part. So this first one is from an ebook, which we should know how to cite because we have cited one. The second one is from a website, so you can kind of go through and see what the various parts of. And then the last two are articles from the library databases. And I'm leaving the weird like underlines and stuff because that's going to happen in the real world. So I want you to just kind of review these and go through and see what are the various parts, where can you, like, as you look at them, where do you see an author, title, et cetera, et cetera. And then also, what would the in-text citations feature? So as we looked before, this one, Wilson and McDarby, there's two authors, so we have to use both of their names. And then this will have page numbers. It's 157 to 60, so we'll use a page number. This one will also have page numbers, so it'd be Park, and then it'll either be 13 or 14. It's only 2 pages to choose from there. This one is a website, so it will not have page numbers, but if it is a short article and you want to use the paragraph numbers, you can do that. It'll be PAR period, like we saw in the sample. And then the last one is a book. And so a book is always going to have page numbers. So Durlofsky, and then the page number of where we have it. Okay. So I will give you this handout. Hopefully it helps. Like I said, if you've got questions, unless they are about your personal grade, please put them in the Q&A discussion board so that I can answer them and give everybody the answers at one time. So I know this one walkthrough was a little long, but I think it's going to be worth it because we had some things to talk about this week. So looking forward to reading the proposals. I'll be getting those back to you as soon as I can. And then, of course, go ahead and proceed with your annotated bibliographies. Those are due at the end of the week. So everybody take care. Have a great day, and I will see you next week.